Hello everyone, this is Anne-Sophie. I'm the founder of She's a Changemaker, and this is December 31st, 2016, as I record this video, and you may be watching it in the new year, but I felt a strong urge to share this insight, this message that has been coming to me, and I feel a lot of fear and nervousness getting it out on camera right now. So therefore, I imagine that it will probably resonate with those of you who will be able to receive it. So here's the thing. 2016 is the end of a cycle that has really felt like falling apart for a lot of people. So many people have had a lot of challenges that they've had to overcome from, not even the last year. I would say the 9-year cycle, if you follow numerology at all. And I would say this was very true for me. It felt like a lot of things fell apart and really fell away from my life from 2016 and the many, many years before that, with having, a burnout to overcome, having a husband who had massive health consequences. And I'm sure some of you had had some falling away things that have happened. And, I've had a concussion and all kinds of stuff, but it's been as I look back at the falling away of what has happened in the last 8 or 9 years, there's a lot of stress and anxiety that has happened. And here's the thing, like, when things feel like they're falling apart and falling away, then it is also possible, because we live in this paradoxical world, that things are going to be falling together. And falling together is not really the opposite, it's actually the end of resistance. So as you end 2016 and as you rise into what's coming, how are you going to allow yourself to allow in what is coming? The paradox of life. I'm just going to look at a few notes here because this is, for some reason, very emotional for me. The paradox of life is really about this good and this bad, this pleasure and this pain, this duality that is happening all the time. So if it felt like the past year has been a lot of things falling apart and a loss of control, it's because it's the welcoming of the surrender. What if we can just start to surrender and allow in what is really on its way to us, what we've been manifesting and calling in? The resistance to what's coming is actually what blocks it from coming in, and allowing yourself to welcome it is what it is and what will start to make it happen. So it's not about pushing. And what I feel is that in the last many years, there's been a lot of pushing. I know I did a lot of pushing. I did a lot of resistance. I did a lot of sometimes avoiding and ignoring things that really mattered. And I've seen a lot of people also avoid, the shadow side of themselves, not really wanting to look at it. But within the shadow comes the light. That's where the cracks of light shine the brightest. And I'm feeling that with 2017, that is just here. And whether you watch this, today, December 31st, or in the new year, December 17 is a fresh new start. So how can you allow this new beginning to feel fresh, to feel refreshed, like a reset that is reigniting your vibrancy, that is not you necessarily rising into the next level of your dream, but allowing yourself to fall into it, allowing yourself to feel supported by your vision, by your desires, by what you're here to create and to call in and to share. What if that's what you require, is a simple allowing? So, the first step is really to look at what's happened. Like, where has 2016 and the years before that taken you? And look at your story two-way. Look at what happened as the perspective of what, the suffering perhaps it brought, or the lessons it brought, and then surrender into looking for the gifts. So looking for the gifts of when things have fallen apart, is also going to allow you to welcome and surrender into what can fall together. I'm not sure how it's going to work out for you, but it's welcoming the paradox. I mean, for many, many people, there's been an experience of intense contrast of what we did not want to create. But that contrast can create a solid foundation for what is welcoming. Personally, I've been feeling gratitude for the coming year for about at least a month. I've been feeling grateful for this year that is arriving, that is here. And it's, you know, a year in time is a human construct. It's a calendar year. So really it's about all of us deciding to make things better for ourselves and allowing it in. So as this happens, one of the things that you're going to shift into as you shift away from what has been and allow what's coming, you're going to also have to allow yourself to welcome in the new language that comes with it. Language is a powerful tool for creation. A belief is a thought you keep thinking, and a thought is something that you use words to create. So you can choose your words to be constructive to what you want. So as you fall into 2617, I would invite you, hey Amber, I would invite you to choose words that help you construct this environment where what you want is going to come together. It's so easy. We've trained ourselves in our world to see how things fall apart, but when the thing is, what if all those balls that are up in the air actually fall and land exactly where they need to be? What if, right? You have to allow yourself to do that. So if there are some stories and some old thoughts that have been going on in your mind and cluttering the space, I mean, think of at this transition point of letting everything as if like your canvas of possibilities has been wiped clean, and now your desires, your dreams, everything you want is just going to fall into place where you need it to be. One of the tools that I would encourage you to do is, rather than focusing on everything you don't want, like start to change your stories, start to allow yourself to change your habits and change your stories by just changing the way you speak in a constructive language. People talk about the positive psychology, but it's not just positive psychology and positive languaging, it's constructive languaging. Build yourself with the words that you choose. So I hope that you've received something from this video, which is to start to allow yourself to shift your paradox, to shift your paradigm by seeing, not noticing the evidence of how things have, you know, crumbled away, but rather seeing how removing the extra stuff has actually created space for what needs to stay to fall into place. So my invitation for you, for where you are right now, is how can you allow yourself to, for everything that you've been calling in and desiring and wanting to just simply fall perfectly, divinely into place for you? How can you, even right now in the space that you are today, allow the energy of the good stuff that you've been wanting to just come your way? Just allow it in, like a great big hug that you're giving yourself and the universe, and saying thank you. So, you know, I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up to your life, because, you know, no matter how heavy the burden has felt, no matter how heavy it's felt to you, or for you, maybe you've taken on too much from the people around you, and I know for many years I felt like I was, you know, responsible for far too many people, trying to keep everyone happy, while my husband had some health issues and I did too, and my kids are small, you know, just saying yes to too many people, but sometimes still ignoring myself. You know, it's taking an honest look about who do we need to become. And, you know, as we step into this 2017 version of ourselves, there's really the stepping into this version of who we are, maybe even a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, and starting to become this person, one word, one choice at a time. So every morning, I would invite you to remind yourself of what's falling together. I mean, every night when you're looking at the gratitude and the evidence of the things that are working out for you, you know, take notice of how things are like magically falling together. It's easy to keep evidence of what's falling away, but how can you let things fall into your lap, fall into perfection? Because that's where it belongs. And when we allow ourselves to no longer resist the perfection of it all, then it can happen. The right people show up, synchronicities happen, money suddenly shows up, you know, and it's just allowing yourself to notice that. So hi Nancy. So yeah, it's in this transition shift energetically. A lot of us have felt the need to mourn what's fallen away, what's fallen apart. But that place is the perfect place to open a great big blank, opening a blank canvas for letting what's coming fall into perfection, fall into the exact creation of what we're here to welcome into existence in the coming year and beyond. I have this, irrational but certain knowledge that the next 8 to 9 years are going to be phenomenal for so many people when we choose to allow ourselves to let things fall into place, when we choose to use constructive thoughts, constructive languages to actually build ourselves up into the people we're here to be. Happy New Year to you as well. And I guess I should have said that to everybody. Happy New Year, everyone. So allowing ourselves to build who we are, but not by controlling, not by resisting, but by really surrendering. That image of the person who's just closing their eyes and falling backwards and knowing that they're supported, that's the energy we're calling in this year. Allow yourself to surrender. There's going to be times when you feel like you've lost control, but that is exactly where you need to be. And 2617 is the place where everybody is going to let themselves fall into the next chapter of their own life and their own creation and existence in a beautiful, peaceful, but powerful way. So that's it. As you wrap up your year and start your new one, I invite you to start to co-create with yourself and with your future self what you're here to make. And we'll have a very exciting year for all of us here once we surrender into the surrender. That's it. Surrender into the surrender and let it fall together. All right, so this is Anne-Sophie, and I'll come again live for another video in the near future. But in the meantime, Happy New Year, and celebrate everything that you have so far, and even the things that have created space around you. Maybe people have left. Maybe you've had to say goodbye to some friendships. Maybe you've had to move and relocate. Well, all that has been the creation of the space you need to allow yourself to create what you're here to build. All right, I'll talk to you soon.